What's up? It's your boy, the Black Andy Cap. We back, baby. Florida State falls to the Virginia Cavaliers. Did not expect it. Um, what can I say? It was a great game. It was, it sucked if you're a Florida State fan because your squad went down, but it was a back and forth battle. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better football game between two competitive teams, two well-coached teams, right? As a Florida Gator fan, the fate of a team that's obviously not well-coached, we all know that. It was just good to watch two well-coached teams go out, play football, execute a game plan. I think both teams, particularly offensively, did a lot of what they wanted to do. Defensively, both teams, how many points went up there, right? Defensively, both teams were lacking somewhat, right? They couldn't stop each other. Is that just because the offenses are so good? I will admit, I'm surprised. I thought Florida State was going to win this by 2 touchdowns. Right before the game, a couple of hours before the game, I think somebody told me it was that FSU was only a 2.5 point favorite. So that kind of shocked me and made me reassess. But it was kind of a weird game. Beginning of the game, I felt like Florida State just looked like the better team, right? In the first quarter, even with the mistakes, right? There were mistakes, but I'm like, man, Florida State looks like a better team. I think they're going to overcome these mistakes. As a matter of fact, after Virginia went up 14-0 after that second turnover, I texted my Noles buddy and I said, I still believe Florida State wins this by 2 touchdowns. Not the case. I felt like Florida State had more athletes out on the football field. I felt like Florida State still should have won that football game, but it just did not happen that way. Virginia looked great on offense at times. Man, the power of football that Virginia ran at the Noles, right? I mean, they just ran the ball down your throats a couple times, Noles fan. That really surprised me. I wasn't sure how good this defense was. But that did surprise. I didn't think people would just gash you like that. Right? They just gassed you. They had two drives that were double digit in plays in terms of plays. And I mean, they just ran the ball down your throat, man. And that was that was the difference, right? In their ability to keep the ball away from the Noles in the second half so they couldn't get opportunities to score, I thought was key. It kept their defense off the field, which obviously was struggling to stop Florida State, right? We look at the score. So at the end of the day, great. Like I said, it was a great game to watch. If I'm not a fan of either team, and if you're a Noles fan, sucks to be you right now. You lost a great game. And but I don't shed a tear for you. I'm so, cause see, y'all was talking, you're mouthy. You was real mouthy in the break. Right, so let me turn the tide and get up in it. Let me get up in it for a second, right? Because you was real mouthy. There's some couple Noles fans texting me. You don't give us no credit. What did I say? I don't know how good you are. You ain't beat nobody yet. And this is what I meant. I knew what I was talking about. Okay, this is why I said what I said about your squad. Bama ain't nothing, bruh. Bama ain't a good squad. Bama gets beat by 14 points by Georgia tomorrow. All right, I'm going to say that. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. But I'm going to get off of that. What are 3 things? 3 things we're taking away from FSU's loss against the UVA Cavaliers. Number 1, that defense is soft, FSU. That defense is soft, Noles fan. You got to be worried about how you got gashed in this game by the Virginia Cavaliers. Now, we don't know the story, right? Just like I was saying, we don't know how good you are as a team, but I was reserving judgment. I never said you was bad, but I reserved judgment. We don't know how good Virginia is this season, right? They're looking, the way they played you guys, man, they were gashing. Don't seem to have the talent gap. I felt like Florida State had more athletes on the field, but man, that defense just could not stop the Cavaliers from moving up and down the field. Mentioned it already. 2 double-digit play drives. I mean, they ran all over you, man. It just gassed you. That's just, and maybe it was because you was on the road. I don't know. Maybe it was because you was on the road. But man, you got to be worried with Miami coming to town next week coming up to Tallahassee, right? Crystal Ball prides himself on dominating the trenches. And if he is as dominant as he wants to be, it could be a long Saturday next weekend for you Noles fans. Or you could recover and come back, and you showed some stuff, right? The problem is, can you keep up, right? The offense, I think your offense looks legit, right? And that's thing number two. Thing number two, Gus Malzahn is a hell of an OC. I texted my buddy during the game. I said, man, Gus Malzahn is a terrible head coach, but he's a hell of an OC. And I say terrible head coach, it's just not for him, right? Every time he's been a head coach, it's always ended badly. It's always ended with some controversy. UCF ended badly, and he talked about just not wanting to deal with the whole changes in the game, whatever. At the end of the day, though, what we do know is Gus Malzahn is a hell of an offensive coordinator. The guy understands how to call plays. His offensive scheme was great. He found opportunities when he needed them. You always felt like Florida State was going to make a play, right? You felt like they can make a play. As long as they can execute, they can make a play and stay in the game. And that's why it was somewhat surprising in overtime that they could not get the score that they needed to at least tie it up or to win the game, right? I thought it was trouble for Virginia when winning overtime, right? Because I figured Gus Malzahn from the 25 in, that's his zone, right? And then you get to the point where you gotta go for two. His target zone right there. That's where he gets all of the scheming up these trick plays, and he gets you all misdirected and had you running everywhere. So I thought Virginia was in trouble, but the problem was Virginia was better on defense just maybe two or three more times, maybe two times on two more drives than Florida State. They were just two drives better defensively than Florida State. But you can't question Gus Malzahn as an offensive coordinator, his play calling. Like, man, and not that Virginia was bad. They looked great too. Virginia, like I said, coming in the intro to this episode, both of these teams were well coached, offensively. Great play calling. I thought maybe Virginia got a little conservative on their last drive in regulation in that first drive in overtime, but they were able to fight that off and not beat themselves, trying not to lose it rather than going out and winning like they had played most of the game. But here nor there, Gus Malzahn knows what the hell he's doing offensively. I was very impressed with what he was able to accomplish. Thing number three. Castellanos, right? Where are you at with him, Noles fan? How do you feel? I felt like he played a good game, a little sloppy around the edges, right? Gave up the interception early, killed a drive, just kind of didn't get the ball away the way he needed to, or maybe he should just ate it, right? So a little flashy, right? There's a little sauce to him, and I think maybe that sauce is on the edges, got to him a little bit, right? I think he's not used to. Yeah, he played in some big games at Boston College and talked about the close games he was in, but he wasn't in close games at Florida State. It's different. There's no expectations at Boston College in terms of winning football games. Florida State's expecting to at least compete for the ACC. They want to play for national championships. And after the way the season started, there was a lot of expectations from a lot of Florida State Noles fans. And I felt like Castellanos, though he played well, kind of was just didn't make it to where he needed to be in terms of executing and getting things done. He got a little sloppy a couple of times. Actually, the team got sloppy. And that may be it. Maybe it wasn't Castellanos, just the team in general was a little sloppy. My Noles buddy said he felt like maybe the Noles were looking ahead to the Canes. I didn't feel like that. I felt like the Noles were here. I thought they were very present. It was a Friday night game, prime time. Crowd was crazy. I felt like they were into this game. I felt like they wanted to go get it. This was going to be their way of because I think they knew people were wondering how good they knew I was out here talking about, how good are the Noles. And hey, there we go, right? So if you were mad at me before about, questioning how good the Noles were or telling you that Bama wasn't that good, boom, here I am. You asked for it, you got it. You got that, Noles fan, you asked for it, you got it right there. That's what I'm talking about, right? Your defense is a little porous. Next week, how you feeling about next week, Noles fan? That's what I really want to know. How are you feeling about Miami coming to town? That could be a tough game for you. That could be a long day. Now you lose two in a row, right? Or you go get this win, right, and you get back on your path and you're back at it. But it's going to be an interesting season now. Right now, I'm interested to see what happens with Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech's going to run the football. They're going to kind of run a similar system, right? They're going to go right at you, and they're going to have their quarterback's a much better runner than what we saw tonight from Virginia Cavaliers. So, man, you ain't out the woods, Noles fan. You are not out of the woods yet. But I feel vindicated because, like I said, I had some Noles fans contacting me saying I didn't give the squad credit, because I kept questioning how good they were, and here we are. That's what I'm telling you. One last question too, not one of my things, but a quick question for what's gonna happen? How far do the Noles drop? I still think they're gonna stay top 15. Do they stay in the top 15? Seven spots. They stay top 20. They don't fall out of the rankings. I don't believe they fall out of the rankings. I think Virginia's a pretty tough team. That was a tough loss on the road. You took it to overtime. I say you stay in the top 15. But anyway, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what your thoughts are, what went wrong. If you're a Noles fan, there it is, baby. That's why we love college football. Peace.